Welcome to my video series on the new Gutenberg editor in WordPress 5.0 and how to use its blocks. This video is going to cover the image block, and if you're used to the current editor and how you add images and work with images, it's going to be a little different, but I think it'll make sense as we get into it. So first things first, we're going to go into our admin panel, and you're going to make sure that you have the Gutenberg plugin installed. For this video, I'm using 4.2.0, so there may be a few subtle differences by the time this actually goes live in WordPress 5.0. So I'm just going to go ahead and start a new page, and we'll just title this image block. And I'm going to go ahead and go to Common Blocks and Image. Here you'll see the block offers several ways to actually get an image into your page or post. You can click here to upload and navigate to find the image you want. You can go directly to your media library and select an image that you've already uploaded. Or you can insert from a URL. So you could actually paste in the URL for an image that exists on another website. The easiest way, though, is just to find the image you want to use in a folder on your computer and just drag it onto the block itself. We're going to use some beach images today because it's cold and rainy here and I need to dream about warmer locations. All right, so that's all you have to do to add a basic image to your post. And if I hit preview here, you'll see that this image comes in at 100% of the width of its parent container. So over here on the left-hand side is where this theme's sidebar is. So the post width itself is right here in the same width as this image. And you'll notice if I change this to simulate a phone view, that it brings this image in and it makes it responsive. It's still 100% width of an iPhone width. Let's turn that back to full-size page, and you'll see it gets larger as it goes. Another thing to note is that WordPress will resize these images and set this up to the optimal image size that it needs to be. So depending on your theme, you're going to have multiple versions of the same image at various size breakpoints. WordPress is going to send to the browser the best size for the device. So it's going to send a smaller image to smaller devices because you don't want to load a full 2000 pixel image if the area that it's appearing in is only 300 pixels wide. This just helps with download sizes so that your page loads faster and doesn't get held up by downloading a large image. So to resize the image, maybe you don't want it to be 100% width. You just click on the image, back on the image block, and then grab these blue handles. There's one on the side and there's one at the bottom. And you just click and drag, and you can make that whatever size fits for you. Now if I go and I hit preview, it should be much smaller in there. And again, it's going to be completely responsive, and it's going to serve up the best image size for the device. So the next thing I want to go over is the other options over here on the right-hand side. And the first box you'll see is alt text or alternative text. Now, this is just a place to write a brief description of your image for people who can't see it, whether they're using a screen reader because they're visually impaired, or maybe just the image doesn't load, so the browser's going to load whatever text you put here in its place. So I'm going to call this just a black sand beach aerial view. The next section is going to be the image size. And now this drop down is going to have different options depending on your theme. I'm using the WordPress default 2017 theme, so these are the options that come with this. Now I'm going to skip the 2017 featured and thumbnail avatar here because those probably won't be included in your theme, but the rest of them likely will. So you got large, medium, and thumbnail. Now you'll see as I change these dimensions, if I change this to large, that the width and height of this changes right here underneath. Medium, large, medium. And these are just a quick way to resize your image to a set size. For example, if you wanted all of your page images to be no bigger than 300 by 300, you could select the medium and it's going to set those height for you. So you can manually adjust these using the width and height boxes here, or you can set a percentage of its width. So for example, if I wanted it to be 50% of the full size image, I could click here and you'll see these numbers adjust to be half of that image size. Next, you'll see the link settings, and this may look a little familiar if you are used to the current editor. So you can link to the media file, an attachment page, or a custom URL. So the media file, if I select that and go back to preview, when I click the image now, the link will actually link to the image itself. So it goes to the full-size image. If I link to an attachment page, what you're going to notice, it fills in this URL. I can preview this again. And when I select this, it goes to a new page with the image on it. It has the image title here, and from there it will link to the actual image. So the final option is a custom URL, and this is just so you can link to any page on your website or any page on someone else's website. So when I select custom URL, I'm able to type whatever URL I want in here. I'm going to go to millsmultimedia.net, my website. And the next option is open in a new tab. So I'm going to go ahead and flip that switch to and click preview. And now when I click the image, it's going to open Mills Multimedia in a new tab. So I can close that and we're back to our page again. I'm going to go back to the editor and we'll go to the next setting, which is advanced. And again, if you watch any of my other videos, you'll know the advanced is where you can add a custom CSS class, and that's just going to be based on your theme, and it'll apply that class to the image in this block. All right, so far so good. We can add an image to a page. We can resize it how we want. But what about interaction with other things on the page? I am going to copy a little bit of text here, and I'm going to start by adding just a basic paragraph block and pasting that in. Now, to learn more about the paragraph blocks, just make sure you watch my other video on the paragraph block. It's got a lot of options. To add an image, I'm going to go ahead and click to add a block above the current block, and I'm going to choose image again. And this time I'm going to go to my media library, and we're going to add this lovely image of some cabanas on a beautiful beach somewhere. And if I hit preview, what you'll see is the image comes in 100% width, and you'll see the paragraphs are the same width. And it's going to come in at whatever location I put it. So I can go here and I can drag up this paragraph block to be above the image, click preview again, and you'll see the paragraph comes first. But what if I want that image to take up just a little bit of space and have the paragraph wrap around it? That's pretty easy to do too. First, I'm going to drag this back up above the paragraph. And you have these options right here: align left, center, and align right. And again, if you're used to the current editor, those should look pretty familiar to you. So I'm going to align this to the left. And you'll see when I do that, my paragraph starts to wrap around right here. Now with this image, that doesn't give me a lot of space over here. So I'm going to drop this down to the medium size and then hit preview. And you can see now it's coming in at that 300 pixel dimension and the text is wrapping around it. I can align it to the right and it'll do the same thing. Now align center is going to keep it at that width, but it is going to force the paragraph down. It's not going to wrap both sides of an image. So let's get this back to align left. Beneath the image, you'll have the option to write a caption, and the captions don't have a lot of the options like paragraphs have. So aligning to the right and left and that sort of thing is all going to be handled by your theme's CSS. But for this theme, it just puts it underneath the image and just center aligns it. So I'm going to type a caption here called, I'll just say, "Wish I was here." And I'm going to click preview again. And now I've got the image aligned over here, and then you've got your caption appearing beneath it. So that's all there really is to the image block. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow the blog at millsmultimedia.net so you'll know as soon as the next video is posted. I'm going to be creating a full series on all of the blocks in the new Gutenberg editor.